Really? They just checked out on me today. And the sound effects again. Hey, what's up, fight fans? As you're checking into the live stream, I want to thank you for checking into the live stream. And please drop a like. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. And when you get into the live stream, let me know that you can hear me loud and clear so that we can get this video on and popping. We have a lot to talk about today, and I want to share light on a few stories that are going around and circulating in the sport of boxing, and some new rules that are being implemented. The California Boxing Committee started this new rule, and I want to talk about it. But it looks like my picture's really coming in broken. What's up? Is everything coming out right? Let me check it out for myself. All right, everything looks good. Ah, that's right, my man. There you go, Armando. Can you hear me? All right, good. Oh, I didn't click this. I don't want to do that. All right, so let's get this on and popping. Well, for everyone that's just joining in right now, I want to touch up on a couple of big boxing stories and things you need to be aware of as boxing starts to evolve. Now, recently in the sport of boxing, there has some big changes, and there has been a couple YouTube channels that have reported on it, but they kind of misleading the topic, right? They're taking the topic and adding boxers into it like they always do. But I'm here to give you just the facts. And California Boxing Athletic Committee is taking up against weight bullying, and they're really starting to try to like tell fighters, if you don't belong in this weight division, you should fight in your natural weight division. Okay. And what they wanted to implement was a 10-pound rehydration clause for any fight sanctioned in California state. Now, most boxing channels took this and try to run with the story that it was a worldwide rule, but it's not. I don't want them to misinform you. Okay. Whatever rule they make in California does not apply in New York City. If you're fighting in New York City, you're under the New York City Boxing Athletic Commission. Just like if you fight in Japan, you're under the Japan Boxing Athletic Commission. So for every city and state, the rules may fluctuate. Some of the rules are on board with other states, but not all countries have the same rules. You see? And what California is trying to do is back up what the WBA just did. The WBA came out and said, in fact, they're going to adapt a 10-pound rehydration clause to their title from now on. Meaning, if you fight for their belt, you're going to have to weigh in the night of the fight. Let's say you weigh, it's a scheduled sanctioned bout at 140. You make weight. You come in 139 and a half. The following morning, they weigh you in at 9 o'clock in the morning, and you have to weigh you can't exceed 10 pounds the next morning on 9 o'clock. Now, leading up into the fight until 11 o'clock, until you get in the ring, you're free to put on whatever weight you want, but you got to make the second weight. That doesn't mean that you have to go in the fight. They schedule at 140. You only have 10 pounds, so at 150. So you assume everybody can only go to 150. That's not so. That's not so. You can only weigh up to under 150 at 9 o'clock that morning. But what that does to a fighter is it kind of checks you as your weight if you're being a weight bully. Because normally, if you can make weight at 140 the day before, and the next day you weigh in at 9 o'clock in the morning, Well, that means that you trained your body to roughly be around that weight. The amount of weight that you would put on from 9 o'clock to 11 would be about 4 or 5 pounds. That would be it. It wouldn't be 25 pounds like some fighters put on the next day. They use Devin Haney as an example. When he fought Regis Progress, right? He went into the fight, weighed in 140, came in on fight night anywhere between 165 and 168. It's rumored that he was right in between there. That's over 25 pounds. So what they're saying is some of these guys are weight bullies. And some of the twists to the stories they're going to try to, some of these channels try to say was that, in fact, Devin Haney was a weight bully and that Ryan Garcia taught the weight bully a lesson. In fact, from the outside looking in, if you was to hear that, you would say, yeah, that looks like what occurred. No, it's not. That's far from what occurred. The truth, Devin Haney's a professional. He made weight every single time. Name me one time he ever missed weight. That's a professional. Whatever he gains after that, is it in the rules? That's not cheating. He's not missing weight. You know who was the weight bully? Ryan Garcia. He could never make 140. His last fight, and neither did Devin Haney fight. He couldn't make 140 then. He came in 143. He came in the Devin Haney fight, 143. He can't make 140. So who's the bigger man? Who's the real weight bully not being the professional, consistently not making weight? Because he can't fight in that weight division. But yet they're going to feed you that Devin Haney somehow is the weight bully in this scenario. Devin Haney's a professional. Never miss weight. But if you let them tell it, they're never going to mention that Ryan Garcia couldn't make weight at 140 his last two fights. They're not going to say that. They're not going to say that Ryan Garcia, in fact, was the best version of himself when he came in to fight Tank Davis. They're not going to say that. They're going to say that he was deplenished. No, that was the best version of Ryan Garcia I had ever seen. He was actually in shape. He had abs. He was moving fast. Bro, he was a little unorthodox. That's his style, right? And until Tank Davis cracked that rib, did he not adopt that little backward Philly shell style? We talked about it, right? Okay, back to the politics. So the California Boxing Athletic Commission and the WBA doubled down on each other. What they're trying to do is they're trying to yell it out into the boxing world so that the rest of the boxing world follows suit, in which I believe to a certain degree they should all make one set of rules because it's confusing as hell. That little situation they had with Naoya Inoue in Japan about putting tape on the skin. And they try to act like he was doing something illegal when out in Japan, those are the rules. But yet they were feeding it to the public like he was cheating. So he went and said, yo, check this out, Stephen Kubo Fulton. How would you like me to wrap them? Have your coach sit right there. My coach is going to wrap my hand while you observe, and we're going to wrap them the way you're wrapping Stephen Kubo Fulton's hand. And he went out there and knocked him out just like that. The Japanese man was in his legal right to say, no, I'm going to go by the Japanese boxing organization. And he was within his right to do so because when you signed the contract, you signed it to fight out there. You signed under their rules. You're going to wait to get out there and then say something about it? Because those rules you feel like, you see, because so that's why the IBF had the 10-pound rehydration clause. Now the WBA just took that rule, adopted that rule. Hopefully, the WBO comes along with it and the WBC does the same. That's what they're trying to do. And by doing so, it'll make the men that are supposed to fight in their own weight division move up to your weight division and stop fighting smaller guys. Because they're saying that Some of these guys have a real special skill that a lot of guys can't do. Not a lot of guys can gain 25 pounds overnight. There's not a lot of humans in the world that can do that, that can just drain. And then Devin Haney being so young, he's draining at 21 years old, 20, 22 years old, fighting guys that are 32 years old, 35 years old. Their bodies are now draining weight like that. David Haney's coming in a fight with 25 pounds on top of these guys because he's young as hell and he can do it. And there's only a certain percentage of people that can do shit like that. So boxing is saying, nah, you know what? No more weight drain. See, look, for instance, Subriel Matias, this is why I always say that Subriel Matias is a natural 140 pounder, right? Okay. He fights at 140. When you see Subriel Matias walking around normally, he's about 156 pounds. He's a little skinny dude like this. When he's just walking around normally, he's not far from his weight. That's a natural 140 pounder. He belongs there. You see, when Devin Haney doesn't have a fight schedule, he walks around somewhere around 180, 175 plus. Jermaine Ortiz walks around at 175, 179. Okay. And he fights at 140. All right. So some of these guys, they're not natural 140 pounders, but they can cut and make the weight. Does it make it fair? So a lot of these sanctioning bodies and rules, they're starting to try to like tighten up on boxing. And in a way, I think that's a very good thing as well. They'll eliminate all that talk of a guy, look at everything that came out of this Ryan Garcia thing, which in fact, I found this very interesting. I want you guys to pay attention to this. That I went today and I looked up Ryan Garcia and I wanted to see where Ryan Garcia was at in the ranking under any major sanctioning body. And I haven't heard anybody talk about this. So you heard this story here first at Round One Sports Talk, okay? Ryan Garcia isn't ranked, and I mean is not ranked by any major sanctioning body. They're not ranked. He's not ranked. For instance, I got it right here. If one click, look at this. If I was to pull up the WBC, for instance, right, and the WBC's website, their ranking, they rank it, their champion for the 140, right? It's Devin Haney, right? So they got Devin Haney as the champion, okay? And then they rank from the number one contender to the number 40. They got the name all the way down, right? The first one is Sandor Martin, Gary Antoine Russell, Dalton Smith, is Richardson Hitchin is 4, Jack Catterall, Jose Carlos Ramirez. Listen, he's not ranked, not even in the top 15. So I went from the top 15 all the way down to 40. He's not there. He's not ranked in the WBA. He's not ranked in the IBF, and he's not ranked in the WBO. The only organization that had a little side note on Ryan Garcia was the WBC, that it says a side note that they took him out of the rankings. So, okay. So if they do side notes, I said to myself, well, let me look at side notes of all the other organizations. And sure enough, they had side notes on different fighters, but no Ryan Garcia, meaning they never had him in his rankings to begin with. And I was like, wow, I find that ironic. I was like, Ryan Garcia is not ranked in no major sanctioning body, not even in the top 40. You can go right now. I got it up right here. But if you would like, the WBC ranking, WBA, WBO, and IBF. And the reason I thought that they might not have them in the ranking is because they're going to wait for the little steroid scandal to thing, right? But I said to myself, wait a minute. If they were going to wait for the steroid scandal to, right, wouldn't he still be on the ranking before that came out? Before he was going into the Devin Haney fight? He should have been ranked somewhere. Don't you think? And that's how this kid is taking his career. that he's not even enrolling into any of the major sanctioning bodies to actually go after a belt. Yet he went after the WBC, and they have a side note that say that at once upon a time, I guess he was going to be in their ranking system. So I think the WBC is letting the world know, no, he will be ranked, but we're waiting to see the results of Vile B and all this other shit to clear. But no other organization has no side notes on him. And that goes to show when they speak of him of being the best fighter in the world, and that Ryan Garcia is like, all this in a bag of chips. My man's not even ranked. He's nowhere near contention on fighting for any world title, not even on the radar. And watch how they pop him up real quick right after all this shit unfolds. I bet you. Mark my words. And he's not up there now. You see how this shit is? Listen, you guys, Bam Bam, my man, I've been waiting for you to get here. Listen, I got something to share with you guys. Right? And I went out and I bought something for the little studio, right? I was out with my girl today. She had to watch me and shit. She says I get a little crazy wanting to buy stuff, right? And I'm like, nah, that's for round one sports talk for me, for my peoples, right? So I saw this, and as soon as I saw it, I couldn't walk by it. I was like, oh, hell no. And she was like, nah. Right? And I was like, listen. She was like, man, she's like, one of these days, we're going to run into some Naoya. Anyway, she didn't know his name. She said the Japanese dude, but I knew who she was talking about. She's like, we're gonna run into, and you're gonna trade in our kids' college fund for something from Naoya anyway. And I looked her right in the face and I said, aren't you the one that always said that college is a scam? Weren't you the one that always saying that it's a waste of money? Right? So if we invested in Naoya anyway, what's the problem? I mean, come on, right? Come right? You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, I walk by this right here. Bam, check this out. Yo, Armando, check this out. This shit is kind of tight. I like it. I like it. I like it. Check it out. Check it out. Bam! Oh, shit! Yo! Muhammad Ali action figure. Bro, they got him with the. He's got 3 sets of. I told my girl, I was like, yo, are you kidding me? They got him with the open hand fist, and they got him with the closed hand fist and the box. 3 changeable hands. You can't pass that up. Come on, baby. That's Ali right there. Yo, look at legends. Huh? Huh? Look. Oh, shit. So we going to put that up. I think we're going to put it up there. We got to put that bad boy up there, right next to him. Yeah, we're going to put it up there somewhere. But that shit is cool as shit, bro. I thought it was cool. I couldn't pass up on it, man. Would you walk by it? If Ali was right there, bro, he'd be like, yo, Ali. He was talking to me. He was like, take me, take me. My girl was like, don't be by that. I was like, these are man toys, bro. Stop it. You don't know nothing about this. Hey, yo, that shit is dope, right? Free fight tomorrow. We'll fight tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's Ali. Yo, what y'all talking? Yo, what's up, guys out there? You guys are wild. Yo, that shit is dope though. But I'm gonna put that up, man. Listen, I'm gonna find a little spot for it. We still looking for other things too up in here to put up for you guys and shit. But ironically, I found that interesting that Ryan Garcia wasn't on any of the rankings and stuff. and I just wanted to see where he was gonna, be at, because I do pay attention to all the moving pieces. Like, for instance, Marlon Tapales just fought. I think it was May 10th. He scored a first round knockout. He dropped the dude 3 times in the fight. He hit him square on the jaw. I think it was like a right hook the first time he dropped him. He puts him down again in the second, then he just bulldozed and he got him out of there, right? And it was in the first round. So Marlon Tapales is back in his winning form. I'm just paying attention to that because, you know, um, people that can put themselves back in front of Naoya Inoue for potential fights. We see Stephen Kubo Fulton is gonna fight here, and he's getting back in the ring, and that's good. You see what they did with the Teofimo Lopez fight. It's not in Honduras, is it? It's in Miami, right? So you see, some things are said in boxing, but does it happen? And Tio was the first person to come out and say, no, I want to go to my native country, Honduras. Yo, I guess they didn't accept that ass over there. I don't know what happened. That shit ain't happening out there. It's happening in Miami, right? Okay, then. So, and then you got the Puerto Rican weekend parade. There's gonna be the Hall of Fame's gonna be kicking off their ceremony, and then you got the boxing card and the Puerto Rican weekend there that's coming up. And then you're gonna have a lot of guys from Top Rank in and out of there. And I wanted to attend that, my friends. Oh, I was on my way, right? But what happened is my schedule is hitting because I was going to the Hall of Fame. You better believe it, 100%. I was there, but that's June 6th, 7, and 8. I got to get on a plane at the June 9th. So if I made it out there even for one day, stood in a telly or whatever, spent mad money out there doing that, in a day and a half, I got to get on a plane and go to Puerto Rico, to try to invest in putting on that fight. So I decided to put all my efforts on the Puerto Rico fight, have a good time with the fam, with just me and my wife. It's just gonna be me and her. So I plan on doing a lot of things out there, but also trying to cover as much as the fight as possible. So I'm putting everything on that one right there, rather than spreading myself thin and trying to make it, because I really want to go to this Hall of Fame thing. It's once a year, but it's a pretty big event, and there's going to be a lot of fighters there. I believe, like Oscar, Tyson might be there, man. What the fuck, bro? And you never know who stops in between the dates 6, 7, and 8. You never know who would stop in, and it would be a crazy thing if that Japanese guy stopped in Naoya Inoue. Like, how many times would you actually see him in America? Come on, let's be honest. And if I knew he was there, man, or if I could find out that he was there, man, I might take that risk. I might take that shot, bro, just to do that, because when's the next time he'll ever be in America, bro? Just think about it. There's a lot of other fighters I'm gonna run into eventually, because they'll be in the States, and eventually I'm gonna run into them on interviews or doing things as we grow the channel more and more, right? So, but an opportunity like that, I don't think they come every day. So that would be something I would really consider on going. If I could find out that he would actually be there between this time, yeah, I'm out there. I'd probably go. You know, but yeah. What are you guys asking here? Whoa, 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 whoa. That's a Amanda. That's a great fight right there. It's in boxing right there on. Yeah. Yo, Edwin. Ivan. Yeah, well, I hope, you know what I'm saying? I hope, they got a lot of inductees, and they got people that they're already, I hadn't seen the list of who, how that works, if they already announced that they're getting in before the ceremony, or if it's like baseball, you don't know the night before, or how they're doing it. I haven't been down there to that Boxing Hall of Fame and Jesus, since my dad, bro. Come on, man. Like, I was a kid, man. And I went once, like, just no way, bro. So I don't know how they're doing it or whatever, but I want to revisit that and do some, go there and my experience as an adult and stuff, and like that. So I don't know, but that would be awesome though. You know what I'm saying? Bam, that would be fucking awesome. And um, Miguel Cotto, Felix Trinidad. There's a lot of good, great um, Puerto Rican boxers in the Boxing Hall of Fame. Um, I want to see how they got it set up in there again. It'll be a really cool experience to go down there, man. And so like I'm a little mordido. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a little upset that it coincide with that, but you got to take the good with the bad. You know what I'm saying? And not to be too hard on yourself, and just understand that my opportunities will come. My opportunities will come. I just got to be ready for them when they come. So, I'm going to go see this fight against Subriel Matias and Liam Paro, and already, you hear all the these guys talking about Subriel Matias because he's locked in training, and then you got Michelle Ali Rivera, pulling tugging at Superman's coat. Watch what you ask for. And the one I really want Subriel Matias to fight now lately more than ever is Gary Antoine Russell. I wish him luck in his upcoming fight. He's supposed to be fighting when Tio's fighting, right? So I'm like, I wish him the best because I want him to win because it'll make it that much better for a fight against Subriel. I want Subriel to get bigger names. I want people to call Subriel out and to Subriel to answer the call. It's nothing better than a guy actually really calling you out, and then the guy takes the fight, and we get these kind of fights. These are the kind of men that are serious about it. Gary Antoine Russell has been waiting for his moment. He's been calculating how good, what he needs to do, what level he needs to be at, because he recognized he comes from a smart boxing family. God rest his dad, good man, brought up some fine young men, you know. And the Russells are, they're deeply rooted. They have flaws. They have flaws in some of their fight games, and like any fighter, they think they're the best fighters in the world. You know what I mean? If you ask them, no one can beat them, and that's the mindset you have to have. And I respect it, and I respect it. But that's a fight I'm building towards. Because Subriel's run through everybody else. But the champions, and he's run through everybody else in the division. So I'm just like, I, that's a good potential fight. What do you guys think? How come Tank and Frank already had a press conference and Matchroom hasn't done anything? Come on, Eddie. No. You're right. You're right. The thing is that Subriel Matias and Liam Paro's press conference already kicked off. Yeah, remember when they squared up and Subriel had the belt and he was looking at Liam Paro? That's that picture they took for that poster. That was the day of the press conference. It was real brief. It was like a thing, and like people didn't like bring it up or like, you know what I mean? But they got it. They got it. And I'm pretty sure that they're covering it out in Puerto Rico. And they got it in Puerto Rican channels and stuff like that, right? Ed Hearn's Matchroom, right? You got to remember, he's starting to learn how to deal with American fighters as promoting them. He's on that European shit. However they do shit out there, ain't like we do it out here in the US. I can tell you that much. We different. We different, right? So, you know, look, Ed Hearns is going to have to learn what it's like in a New York minute, how to put together fights here in America, and when to kick off, and to recognize, in his head, he's saying, yeah, I got the press conference kicking off in Puerto Rico. He ain't thinking, bro, what are you giving us? What are you giving us? And then he's got it on, he'll let it release it on whatever, some YouTube channel or some shit, right? So I agree. There should be more put out there as far as promoting this fight with Subriel. You know, um, I think that Ed Hearns is just thinking he's already in his country. How much more promotion can you get? But we're not in the UK, and Puerto Rico is not that big like that. And Subriel is a rising star. And if you're going to promote a star in the United States, why do you think Saul Canelo Alvarez and all these guys, a month, 2 months leading out of the fight, they're already doing press conferences? Terrence Crawford's going to fight August 3rd. Didn't you see a press conference already with him in Israel? Didn't him and Israel already square up? Y'all seen that press conference, right? It already happened. And that fight is in August. See, we're weeks away from Subriel's fight. What have you guys heard? Not unless I'm coming out here and bringing it up, or there's some certain YouTube channels that'll talk about Subriel. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like I'm in agreement with that. When Ed Hearns got his, because he doesn't have a lot of American fighters. He brought one of his fighters from out there and followed them out here. You know what I mean? Connor Ben. And then he just signed Jerron Boots Ennis, in which, in fact, Jerron Boots Ennis is going to fight too. I think that's going to go down July 13th. Jerron Boots Ennis, if I'm not mistaken. I had it written down somewhere. I think it was July 13th, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, and he's got a good match in front of him. Crowley is going to fight. Where did I write it? I don't know. I forget now. I have so many things. But yeah, he has to know how to promote these guys a little bit better. You know what I mean? I agree. But Subriel Matias' next fight, he's more likely, hopefully, going to fight in the U.S. And there's already rumors already who his next opponent was going to be. I'm not going to touch on that. Like I say all the time, and I try to show you guys that boxing changes a lot. They say a lot in boxing. Tio said he was going to fight over there. It's not happening. Tank Davis said he wasn't going to fight on June 15th, that he was going to fight in June 22nd. Here we are back on June 15th. There's just a lot of things, and I know these things, so I don't always, be rushed to, Iron Boy was one of the who is that? In Miami officially? Yeah. Tio's officially fighting in Miami, yeah. Yo, the promotion's always crazy for Tank and Canelo. They're the highest paying boxers in boxing right now. With that newly signed contract that Tank Davis signed with Prime for like the 7-fight deal, he's rumored to make $39 million per fight for all 7 fights. He signed like a 200 and something $1 million contract with Prime. And he says after he finishes his last fight, he's going to retire, Tank Davis. So that's what he's saying. That when he completes that he's done. He's walking away from the game. Yeah. So and then there were other rumors and speculations about what just occurred the other night with all the Ukrainian fighters becoming world champions. Right? And I saw Usyk, Lomachenko, and Bergachek become world champion. My friend told me that there was even another one, a fourth one. I said, well, I didn't see that one, but I'm telling you about the 3 I saw. And I said, he says to me, wow, that's a coincidence, and that boxing rig, this all, people are going to start saying things, right? And I said, you want to know something? Coming into these fights, I thought, be prepared for some of these guys to get robbed, and they're gonna award some of these Ukrainian guys some of these title fights, right? And I was on the verge of saying that, right? And then when I watched all 3 fights, legitimately, I looked at the fights and said, they pulled it off by themselves. They didn't need any help from the judges, the referees, nothing. Lomachenko beat the shit out of George Kamboza. Am I right? Okay. And Navarrete didn't do enough against Burgacek. He didn't do enough to win that fight, right? And Usyk beat Tyson Fury. So it wasn't like I can say it was a robbery. I think Ukraine was more surprised that legitimately they pulled it off. They didn't need to, and I think in fact they were prepared to. They might have, I don't know. Maybe they were willing to steal the night. But damn it if they didn't pull it off. And I was looking at it from the outside in. I was like, yeah, I think they did. There's not none of those fights I can argue the outcomes. I'm like cool with every outcome. I'm like, yeah, he kind of beat Navarrete. Yeah, he did. And Loma destroyed this dude. And if Tyson Fury was the only one that got a standing 8 count in that fight, you know, he he punished him. So legitimately they did it. Yeah, and I'm not sure if they were prepared to steal the night or whatever, but yeah, they did. So, there's a lot of things and moving parts that are going on in boxing, and you're going to hear a lot of things, a lot of many things. You're going to hear that Ryan Garcia is a cheater, and about the 3.5 pounds. I don't think those 3.5 pounds won him that fight. 3.5 pounds can't fight for you. You're going to have to fight in there, aren't you? And Devin Haney gained just as much as weight as Ryan Garcia did. He might have been a little bit late to replenish faster than Ryan. He had a better start. But if I'm going to sit here and say that this fight was determined by a few pounds, when there's men and women in this world that are fighting at heavyweights, catch weights, and they're outweighed by 25 pounds, and they're still winning the fight. Mayweather was outweighed many times by 20 pounds. He still won the fight. There has always been a situation inside of boxing where the guy was, slightly overweight from the other guy. That wasn't the outcome of the fight, so I can't give Denny Haney that excuse. The only thing I saw that happened in that fight is Devin Haney didn't make the right adjustments. And once Devin Haney was hurt for me, I don't think he really recovered, right? And then when he did recover, he was stubborn in his approach. He couldn't recognize that it wasn't working for him. You know what I mean? So, yeah. You picked Usyk by the 10th round KO. Listen, look, I think Fury will be back. I think Fury could have fought a better fight. I think he had a he started dropping them bombs on him and them uppercuts and everything. But I talk about this. It's one thing to start fighting like this. It's another thing to sustain it. And he Fury, he's getting too big, I think, and too old. And a lot of those guys, I noticed they age different. You see those guys get a lot older, like 35, 39 and shit. And they're like, but I mean, for the most part, Tyson looked good. He just couldn't keep Usyk off of him. And he wasn't popping the jab like I normally see Tyson Fury do, you know. And the only time he really did upper body movement this time is when he was kind of like against the rope and his hands were stretched out on the ropes and he was like using that. It wasn't like when he was coming off the rope where he was trying to like evade the punches like more. It was like one slide and he would like try to get out the way, from Usyk. He had Usyk in all kinds of trouble in that fight. Let's remember that Tyson Fury, he had Usyk badly hurt in that fight. And it just goes to show that, man. You know, look, There are some people that have come out to social media and said, "Oh, boxing's rigged. Boxing's rigged because Tyson Fury is knocking out all these brothers like this, but all of a sudden he fights against Usyk, and now he can't box or can't fight." And I disagree with that, right? I'm saying Usyk was a much better boxer than all those guys. The reason why he did that to them is because those were lower opposition. Them dudes weren't on Usyk's level when it comes to boxing. He wasn't able to get away with that shit with Usyk. And that's the difference. That's the difference between fighting somebody better skilled. Yeah, he looked good against those guys. And they're like, oh, he knocking out the brothers like this. But when he come fighting this dude, he ain't doing that to him. Bro, that's a real bad way to look at things. That's a really bad way to look at things. That means that your mind can't accept the win or a loss. You're looking for a way out for someone. No, Tyson Fury fought against one of, if not his most skilled opponent he's ever shared the ring with. And that was Usyk. So one punch can change the whole fight, brother. Question: if the few punches didn't make a difference, if the few pounds didn't make a difference, why did Ryan pay 1.5 million instead of losing 3 pounds? Okay, first of all, brother, L741L. Okay, my man, how you doing? Welcome to the channel. Thank you. Okay, first, when you bring a point, right, and you're asking a question, you have to at least have all your facts, that way we tell the story. He never paid 1.5 million to no one. Okay. First of all. Second of all, when he agreed to pay the money is because when he went into that fight, he had already knew from his last fight when he fought Oscar, he couldn't make 140. Killing himself to make the 140 to hype, it would have taken him a little bit longer, he felt, to, rather than really taking all the water out of your body. Because what happens is, remember, L, the first organ in your body to lose all the water is your brain. Then everything else empties out. The last organ in your body to take water in is your brain. It's the first to release it, and it's the last to take it back in. So that replenishing process is key. You have a 36-hour window from the time you weigh in to fight night. That's what you have to replenish correctly. See? So Ryan said, bro, I'm a weight bully, bro. I never could make this weight anyway. Okay? But I don't want the world to see that. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go and make a ridiculous claim on stage that I'm going to pay 500,000 per pound, which will add up to 1.5 million dollars, right? Okay. I'm going to make a ridiculous claim. The world's going to buy that. But I know that behind the scenes, what's actually going to take place. The New York Boxing Athletic Commission doesn't care about Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney's personal bets. They got to go by the rules and structures of the organization. This is a professional sport. So what were they going to do? The normal thing. They're going to call Ryan Garcia into a room, Devin Haney into a room. They're going to say, Ryan Garcia is 3.5 pounds overweight. By the rules of the New York Boxing Sanctioning Athletic Commission, we're going to fine you $300,000 per pound, Mr. Ryan Garcia. And he had to pay him $900,000. And Ryan Garcia wrote him a check and gave Devin Haney $900,000 per pound. Okay? Wasn't 1.5. Like he had an antic so that everybody believed that. Why? Because Ryan Garcia doesn't want the world to know he could never make 140. He was the weight bully. So if he knew he couldn't make that weight, and he knew that the risk would be draining the rest of the water out of his brain, by the time he rehydrate, take the chance that he's fully hydrate, Devin Haney could knock him out. A lot of fighters make that mistake. So I'll pay $900,000 just for that I could rehydrate the best way, right? Devin Haney's a professional. Devin Haney drained himself out completely, was up there like this, right? And then still came into that fight over 160 something pounds. Devin Haney still gained over 20 pounds overnight. Yes, he did. Ryan Garcia should have never fought Devin Haney at 140, if you ask me, from the beginning. Because Ryan Garcia was never a natural 140 pounder, and he could never make 140. His body just outgrew them as they came up together. But Ryan Garcia is the bigger kid. As you can see, he's taller than Devin and everything. And he just passed Devin. He was the bigger dude. He was the weight bully in this fucking fight. But what I'm saying to you, if you're saying to me, if the 3 pounds didn't matter, right? Okay, here's my thing. Heavyweights fight each other 40, 50, 60 pounds heavier away from each other. There's been 100,000 fights that the guy came in 10, 15, 20 pounds over the guy. It was a natural sanction. Devin Haney came in 14 pounds heavier than Regis Progress, right? This 3.5 pounds, the 3.5 pounds wasn't a significant amount of weight where that you can say it was going to really cause an effect. The reason why they make such a big thing about missing weight, this is a professional sport. If they don't tax your ass like that, what's going to stop any other fighter from doing it? What's going to stop these other fighters from missing weight all of a sudden and just paying a fine if the fines were cheap? If the fines were like $5,000, bro, everybody would do it. That fine every pound was $300,000. That's $900,000, bro, out of your purse. These fines are not easy. That's almost $1 million right there, bro. So that's why, and then on top of it, you're going to get frowned on by the rest of the sport of boxing. Meaning, everybody's going to look at you, your next fight, the guy's going to say what to you? This guy's not a professional. He don't make weight. You want people in your sport calling you not a professional because you don't make weight? Or you're going to get on stage and make an antic about an outlandish bet to get everybody away from the fight that you didn't make weight? But do I really think that 3.5 pounds paid such a difference that it was the outcome of the fight? 3.5 pounds didn't fight inside of that ring. 2 men did. And Devin Haney got 2 hands that he could put all over Ryan Garcia's face. But did he do that? What did he do with his 2 hands that were perfectly working? What was he working on in the gym if he knew leading into the fight, hey, Ryan Garcia, all you got is that check hook? First sequence, first engagement. Boop! You mean to tell me you failed the first attack of the weapon you knew he had? His very first attack of the one punch that you so blatant, you and your dad so much came on TV and said, all you got is that left check hook, Ryan. Boop! God damn it. Ain't that a bitch? He hit him with the left check hook in the first round. The first attack. Bro, what were you working on? So you gotta give Devin Haney his fault. Devin Haney lost that fight because Devin Haney lost that fight. Devin Haney lost concentration. He was embarrassed a little. He saw himself getting his ass whooped, and he couldn't deal with that mental shit in his head. That he couldn't even make adjustments in the fight. He couldn't get out of his own head. He couldn't get out of his own way because Devin Haney is a lot more skilled than what you saw in that ring. A lot more skill. He had a lot more to go to. But ironically, he was like that kid that got really embarrassed, that keeps doing that one thing that you keep telling him, don't do it, don't do it, stop doing it, and he just keeps doing it because he feels embarrassed and he's in that zone where that he's like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, man, listen, you got to give blame to Devin Haney as well. I don't think 3.5 pounds fought in that ring, man. And I don't think that was the outcome of the fight. As far as keeping it professional, yeah, they frown on that because they want to make you feel dirty for doing that so that not all fighters do it. That's a big black eye on your career. You don't make weight. People ain't going to want to fuck with you. You see what I'm saying? Because you're not a professional. If I'm weight draining, well, then you need to weight drain all the way down. Maybe he didn't weight drain himself all the way down, but the weight cut is not boxing. That's all I'm saying. Yo, Edwin, killing me. I thought this lives were at 8:30. Yo, I had to go on a special time front line, and you missed it. You weren't here. Tio wants the winner of. Yo, listen. You crazy. Yo, Frontline, I know you missed it. I know you coming in late, and I'm going to bring it back. Look what we caught today, Frontline. Peep game. Bam Bam already seen it. Everybody's seen it. Bam! Look at the Ali. Look at the Ali. Yo, that's it. Exchangeable hands, both side. Hey, yo, listen. Frontline. We're going to put that up. It's going to come, you know what I mean? I can't open it up, though. I wish I could, I want to see what he looked like underneath the thing, but I was like, nah, I'm going to keep him right in there. You know what I mean? The notification. Yo, probably so. Yeah, I do. I get the live itch. I be like, I think I gotta go. My people need me. They need me. They need me to come out and let them know. Yeah. Yo, it's hot as shit up in this motherfucker right now. Man, I gotta turn on this fan. Hold up, guys. Woo! There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah, man. But so I was paying attention to a lot of those things because also like Marlon Tapales with Naoya Inoue, because like I said, Stephen Kubo Fulton was moving up and he's gonna be fighting. And for future fights, because I think there's a possibility that Stephen Kubo Fulton and Naoya Inoue can meet up again. I think so. Out of everybody that he's fought, I think so. I think he has the potential to win a world title at 126 and possibly line up to fight him again. There's a lot of big names that's been thrown around for future potential matches with Naoya Inoue. Recently, I went and I Googled, I went on Wikipedia to look up things on Naoya Inoue, and it was saying that Ringside Magazine has deemed him the pound for pound fighter leading it as of 2024. And just I think it was yesterday when Usyk won, they went and put Usyk, the pound for pound fighter in the world. And at that moment, like, I saw who put up that pound for pound list. It was fucking ESPN and Top Rank. And a little small piece of me kind of like really like I was sad to see that, because truth be told, they should never ever ever be a heavyweight champion on a pound for pound list, ever. They should never ever do that to any of the other boxers. And I'm gonna tell you why. Stay with me on this one. Check this out. First of all, that's the heavyweight champion of the world. That's the most prestigious belt in all of boxing. The heavyweight champion of the world is supposed to be sitting on a throne as the king of boxing by himself. How dare you put him on a list of other men? That the reason why we made the pound for pound list was to give eyes to the other divisions that had a lot of skill. I already know there's never been a heavyweight champion in the history of heavyweight championships that looked like Sugar Ray Leonard. I could never compete and put Sugar Ray Leonard on a fucking pound for pound list and match him with any heavyweight. It wouldn't work out skill for skill. The heavyweight champion of the world is the most prestigious belt in all of boxing. And you have the nerve to put him on a pound for pound list to try to disrespect him? What are you trying to say? Because if you were to look at the heavyweight champion, you would have to say Usyk is the best heavyweight champion. He looks the best among the heavyweights. You couldn't say that Usyk was the best fighter over Terrence Crawford. I know you're not saying that. You're not going to say that Usyk has a better style than Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson. You're not going to say that he fights better than Loma, Usyk, that he's faster, quicker, slicker. No, you would be disrespecting him. And the only way you would judge him would be in accordance to all the heavyweights. Well, guess what? When you judge Terrence Crawford, you don't judge Terrence Crawford from all the fighters in 147 pounds, do you? No, you judge Terrence Crawford from all the fighters in the world. You can't do that with Usyk. You're going to tell me right now that Usyk has more skill than Naoya Inoue, that he has a better style, a better technique, he flows better in all aspects as a complete fighter. You're going to say that? In order to judge the heavyweight champion of the world, you would have to say he's the best heavyweight among heavyweights. There's no other heavyweight that can move and box like Usyk. I'm in agreement with that. But you're not judging him worldwide or on a big scale through all the ranks. Because if you were to do that, Usyk wouldn't be in the top 500 for skilled fighters. He wouldn't even be close. Do you know how many men there are that have better skill than Usyk and look way better, have better form, footwork, defense? Bro, there's hundreds, and the list would go on through all divisions, bro. Usyk is good for a heavyweight, but he doesn't have the same skill as these guys, and that's what the pound for pound list was made for. When they originally made it, heavyweight champions never had to get on it. Why? Because they're the king. They are the king of the... Oh my God, it's such a disrespect. Usyk is a king. He sits on a throne by himself. You're going to judge him to who? And then by putting him on the pound for pound list, you would be stealing from all the other men. By putting your king against everyone else, that's knocking off the guys that are trying. You're trying to get recognition to your other divisions. The king is already the king, man. How are you going to put him on a pound for pound list? That's fucking insanity to me, man. That kind of shit drives me crazy, bro. You can't do that. No, bro. No, he's the fucking king, bro. Let the most skilled guys battle it out for the skill. You can't disrespect the king like that. Of course he doesn't look like these guys. Then you're gonna make us judge him by that merit. You're gonna put the king on the list, but judge him by separate rules because the rules you're judging everybody else on couldn't apply to him. It's just fucking insane, bro. He's the king, man. Anyway, pound for pound list has to do with every other division but the heavyweight. You don't put a fucking king on the list. Fucking ridiculous, bro. Anyway. All the infinity stones, baby. Don't put a fucking infinity king with all the stones against mortal men. He's the fucking king, bro. And it would be killing everybody else on that list. He would automatically get the top spot. You already have the most prestigious belt. Allow other people to, you know what I'm saying? That's why you don't put them on there, because by default, they're already top dog. You can't go no higher than the heavyweight champion. And by putting them on the list, you're going to fucking take away from all the other fighters because you got to put him at the top because no one can actually beat him. Terrence Crawford, no matter how much skilled he is over Usyk, put him in the ring to fight each other. What's going to happen? Terrence Crawford's going to get fucked up. That's what's going to happen. And that's why he's the most prestigious, bro. He might not be the slickest of skill because they're so big. They can't move like that. But Terrence Crawford, with your own two eyes, you can see he has way more skill. It's not even a question. So that's why they shouldn't do that, bro. They should let them, the way it was initially read out. And then fucking ESPN, the wide leader in sports, they know who the fuck they are. They know when they put out this kind of message, they just follow suit. They want it. What the people, yeah, Usyk #1, yeah. Like, bro, and that's such, I'm like, man, come on, man. Are you serious? You're putting Usyk over Terrence Crawford and Naoya Inoue? You're going to make us start arguing when he should have never been on that list in the first place. He's already the dog. The fucking, oh my God, bro. This shit is fucking ridiculous. And then ESPN does this and everybody says, no, look at ESPN. I'm sitting here going, wow, look how far we've gone in boxing, bro. That all this shit is just a popularity contest. That fucking list, that ringside belt, all popularity shit. That lineal belt, popularity. The only thing that's fair now is just the belts because you legitimately got to beat the guy for it, right? Everything else can be awarded to you nowadays if you're the most popular. I'm surprised Ryan Garcia is not on the popular pound for pound list after the Devin Haney fight. They got him ranked number 4 or something. yo, because they'll throw Ryan Garcia up there. Fuck around, he beat this drug test. Ryan Garcia is the number 2 pound for pound fighter in the world, above Terrence Crawford. Yo, they'll say anything, man. They'll say anything, bro. But in the sport, I made this channel because if I got a voice and I could put this out, man, the truth is, the top guys is, arguably, it's gonna be Naoya Inoue, Terrence Crawford. And the reason why I give it to Naoya Inoue is because of activity. He's just the more active champion. That's it. That's it. He's the more active champion. And his last 2 fights have been for 4 belts. His last 2. So that's pretty impressive. He just defended the 4 belts, then he won 4 belts. So just on his last 2 fights, he won 8 belts. And if you're not impressed with that, just for to break it down as, how many belts has Naoya Inoue won throughout his career? Well, up until current date, he's won 38 world titles. 38 world titles. You know how okay, every time you win a world title, right? Like Mayweather, you ever see him in his house? He puts them all out and he lets you see him, all the belts. Well, every time you win a belt, they mail you a new one. You got the old one, but when you go home a week later or something, you get the new one in the mail. So every time you win a belt, yeah, you're sporting the ones that you brought there, but they're gonna send you a new belt. So Naoya Inoue's house, in his house, his trophy room, far as all the belts, he has 38 world titles. He has 38 belts somewhere in this world around he probably got a few in his dad's, office, the boxing gym. His mom probably got some. He probably got some. His brother he got 38 fucking belts. Meaning Naoya Inoue in his last 9 fights has not fought for less than 2 belts. It was 2 belts from Donito Donaire 2. From the time he fought Donito Donaire, from that moment right there, he hasn't fought for under 1 belt. It's been 2 belts, 3 belts, or 4 belts. That's it. Until present day. And that's his last 9 fights. So if I was looking at his last 3 fights, okay, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr., Terrence Crawford beat Errol for 3 belts, which solidified all 4. So Terrence Crawford on that night won 4 belts. Okay, so his last fight was for 4 belts. Naoya Inoue vacated his 4 and fought Stephen Kubo Fulton for 2 belts. Then he fought Marlon Tapales for 2 belts, which won him 4 belts, right? And then he fought Nari for 4 belts. And he only fought for that one so far. So that's why I have to give it to the Japanese dude for activity, because he's the more active of the 2 champion. And when they're both so skilled and taking out their opponents the way they are, where you can no longer judge it by skill. I can no longer say that Terrence's style is better than Naoya Inoue's style. No, I can't, because they're both good in their own way. But so what is the next thing I have to judge them on? Well, then who's been more active lately? Because you take more chances. So by that merit, I have to put the Japanese guy in first. Then I'll put Terrence Crawford second right there. And then from there, it's really a coin toss at this point. The Errol Spence Juniors really shouldn't be on the list anymore. The Saul Canelo Alvarez is hanging in by a thread, but you got other fighters like Demetrius Bivol that I believe should be looked on that list. He should be on it, like up there. I think Demetrius Bivol is a worthy a person. Shakur Stevenson should be on the list too. I know that last performance really but he's really skilled. He's really smart. He's really skilled. Some of these guys, for my liking anyway, need to fight better fights. The Tank Davises, now Devin Haney with the loss, it's not really helping their case so much as far as pushing up. The Charlo twins are off now the list. And when you start looking at fighters like David the Monster Benavidez, and you start remembering about other good fighters, there are a lot of Japanese fighters right now that are making a strong case in those lower weight divisions to be placed on this list legitimately. Okay. There are, Saul, man, I don't think he's once the fighter that he once was. I don't think actually, there's just a lot of other guys at lower weight divisions, if I want to be honest, deserve to be on this list, man. The Bam Bam Rodriguez's of the world. And there are a lot of slick fighters down there. Because they're in lower weight divisions, they don't get a lot of eyes. And that's unfortunate, because I think those guys are really fucking skilled, man. And I just think that they're just way better fighters, than some of these guys they want to start putting on this list. For God's sake, I even heard Tim Zoo's name one time on the list. And I was like, although Tim Zoo is a very great fighter, a good fighter, he is a one-dimensional fighter. Kind of what Tim Zoo is going to do, his approach to the game, at least. And that doesn't really make you an elite fighter like that for a pound for pound. Pound for pound qualifications mean that you have to be a complete fighter all around, meaning your stand up, your footwork, your defense, your ring IQ, all has to be top notch. You don't have to look the same. You don't have to look like this guy for me to understand that you're an elite fighter. No, you just have to be at a level where you're doing the dance the way it's required. Meaning, what are the rules of boxing? The fundamentals of boxing: to hit without being hit. Those are the rules. When you start a fight, what are you supposed to do? Or you're supposed to punch him in the face as many times as you can, and you're supposed to avoid his punches. Round one. You know what I'm saying? Let's begin, right? Ain't that the rules? So, you have to break it down to that. And who's doing it the best. And when you got a guy like Naoya Inoue that has won possibly more 10-8 rounds than he has won regular rounds in his career, that speaks volumes of a complete domination throughout your career. That's serious. That's not something to be avoided. When you have more 10-8 rounds than regular, like 9 rounds and shit, like, he's dominating everyone. And those are the rules in boxing: to hit without being hit. You're taking care of your opponents, the people they have in front of you. That's all you're responsible for. I hate those fans that be like, no, yeah, ain't no way, gotta fight fucking Usyk to be the number one pound for pound, and if he doesn't beat him, that's it. Usyk's number one. Like some ridiculous shit. You know what I mean? But I know Usyk, I know Naoya Inoue has way more skill than fucking Usyk, bro. He looks way faster, way better technique, he's just doing so many things. Way out of his footwork, his timing, his distance management, the ability his jab alone. Usyk has one jab, that straight jab that he goes like this. This dude, he has the side jab, that jab, the hook jab, the jab to the stomach. Like, he works his jab in so many different ways. His selection of punches is way higher than Usyk's selection of punches. Usyk has like 7 punches in his whole arsenal. That's it. If that. If he has 7 punches, I'd be fucking impressed. Name me any other punches different that he throws than the ones you see. No. He doesn't even have a big selection of punches. It's just, yeah, man. These guys are really fucking skilled, bro. Like, really skilled. Terrence Crawford, bro. That dude is fucking nasty, bro. The way he switches up from that left style, it's fucking crazy, bro. And he looks like a lefty. It's not like he looks awkward when he's changing from lefty to righty. He looks like he's been fighting his entire career from a lefty. That's not easy to do. That's fucking not easy, man. And he's good. He's good. He's good with it, So I'm like, that impresses me. That impresses me when you can get your body to react like that, because I know one thing about fighting. And if you quickly know what you're looking for in a fight, you can make adjustments. no matter what kind of fight. I wouldn't recommend too much in a street fight. Street fight is not like boxing. Street fight, you better get your shit off first, straight up. I would advise that, right? But in a boxing match, you have time. You're gonna, figure shit out. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna make reads. And when you make reads in a fight, right? Like say, I don't know, say you was in a fight, right? And you had to make a read, right? In the fight, in the moment, right? And you see that the guy is dipping to the side, dipping to the side, dipping to the side. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna throw your jab, and you're gonna throw, and that's a read. You know what I'm saying? Typically in like a street fight, you're not really waiting to make a read, but you could psych your opponent out if you know what you're looking for real fast. If he doesn't know what he's doing, so that's important. And when you start to like learn that, that's where they talk about there's levels to this. And that's where skill gaps come in. Where that you see some guys, yeah, they are good. They are good, but they're not Sugar Ray Leonard good. That kind of good. And when you see fighters like that, like, okay, for instance, to describe it more, Subriel Matias' style doesn't technically look like the most solid style, and he's really criticized for getting hit, right? But wow, you got to admit it's 100% effective. 100% effective. But yet they criticize it. You see? Oh no, that's not good. No, he's not the best. No. Yeah, bro, if I fought him, I would whoop that dude's ass, right? Because look at the way he looks. Bro, I think he's lulling all of you guys to sleep. Every one of you. Before you figure out what Subriel Matias is doing, he'll be gone with all the gold. Before they even give him credit and say, yo, maybe that style that he has was fucking effective. Maybe the way he fought, that was a really, and he was able to pull it off. But yet, when you don't understand something as a fighter and they don't fully understand it, when you don't understand something, what do? You minimize it. You put it down. You think it's not going to work. Oh, that's not going to work. He doesn't understand it. But before they understand what Subriel's doing, they're already quitting on a stool. Then they're realizing how effective his style really is. And I mind you, it doesn't have to look like his to be considered an elite fighting style. He mastered that style. That style, make no mistake, he's Subriel Matias this close from making that an elite fighting style of his own. He's not there yet. When I see him against Liam Paro, well, we'll know more. I would love to give him the credit, but I've learned in boxing, Edwin, do not put the cart before the horse. Don't, because my heart is into it and I love Subriel on the low, and you know what I'm saying, and I want to really talk him up, but I learned that the fighter's going to have to, not only is he going to have to show us, but he's going to have to also earn our respect. And we keep giving this to these fighters easily, calling him the GOAT, saying no, he's the best, because we have this thing of saying Usyk now is the best heavyweight champion of all time, which I say no. I'm not prepared to give him that title, but you know what they're doing in today's era? If he beat the man that beat the man that beat the man, well, then he gets all their credit without doing their work. And I think that's bullshit. You ever see that athlete come up and he finally beats the champion? And it's that rare moment in sports when the guy gets on and says, yo, now you're the champion and you're the greatest middleweight of all time. And the only real fighter he beat was the champion. He beat no other middleweight but the champion. And all of a sudden, the announcer's saying, you're the greatest middleweight that ever existed, because his 10-year reign, You just beat it. Like he inherited his 10-year body of work. And in that rare moment, that one athlete will go, no, I'm not the greatest middleweight in the world. Thank you. That's flattering, but I got to earn my way. I got to put in my stripes, earn my stripes, and put in my work for the next 10 years and see if I stay undefeated, just like that champion was that I just defeated. And when I get there and I hope to achieve half of what that man achieved. And when I get there, then you can call me the greatest middleweight. But until I get there, by being one guy doesn't give you the status of the great. But nowadays, yo, they got no problem doing that. He beat the man that beat the man that beat that up. I guess that makes him the man. And we know in boxing, no, no, you got to put in that work because it could be that one guy that comes out and beats you. You can't just award him, oh, the greatest heavyweight fucking champion of the world. What, yo, bro, pump your brakes, bro. He got like 4 heavyweight fights. Relax. How the fuck is he the greatest heavyweight champion of all time? He's the greatest heavyweight champion right now. Yeah, okay. You got that. No argument. Of all time. Who the fuck he be? What are you talking about? Yo, I'm tired of that too. No, these fighters got to put in the work, just like that former champion. Just because he had 10 years undefeated, just because he cleaned out the division, you come in and beat him, all of a sudden, you inherit all his hard work? Fuck out of here, bro. You're not getting a free ride. You're not getting one from Round One Sports Talk TV right here. Hell no. We'll pull your card. No, you're going to have to put in work. You're going to have to beat the who's. Then we'll talk about it in a few years when you get halfway near that champion. Bro, you're not getting that credit from me. Thank you, boxing. You guys are bugging. Edwin missed the chat. Yeah, I did. I did miss the chat. I gotta go up. You guys hit me to what's going on. What's going on? You guys are gonna have to bring me back or whatever. But yeah, man, listen, there's a lot of things that go on in the sport of boxing, but as long as yo, can we get these likes up? Speaking of which, as long as we share these videos and get these messages out there, so it looks like some of these organizations are starting to like, really trying to crack down on the weight situation. They're seeing, because a lot of YouTube channels try to come out and say this was the cause of Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. No, no. Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney weren't the first boxers in the world of first boxing match that ever missed weight. And that's not the most weight a boxer ever missed by in history. No. It's one that recently comes into mind. And I'm pretty sure that these people were talking about these very same rules for quite some time. And now that the WBA adopted that rule and California issued out that, and you could read all about this, it's up on there for the public to see. So from now on, I think all fights that will be sanctioned over there were like that, and so forth. And I think that some of these moves in the right directions, but you're gonna need a lot of these outside players to, really agree to a lot of these rules. So we'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell. As far as the Ryan Garcia, I'm still on my same thing. I'm still preaching the same message. I already know he tests positive. I already know that. I already know that vial B must come back identical to vial A. It must. Reason being is, if vial B, and I mean if vial B, if there's just one number, and I mean one digit off, that's contamination. then it speaks to VADA's credibility as a steroid testing entity. So everybody in the world that's watching this story cover unfold, NFL, NBA, golf, everywhere, that wants to hire a steroid testing agency is going to say, you mean VADA fucked up one of the biggest tainting? Yeah. Well, you know what? We're looking for a steroid testing company. Why don't you call VADA? They look to be credible. Are you fucking kidding me? There is no way on God's green earth that B vial is going to be anything different. VADA is a credible source. They know exactly what they're doing. That's going to come out like A, 100. And he tested positive, 100. And even if he went to court and beat it in trial, and the judge awarded him and said, brother, we believe you. We found out it was a tainted substance and you only had trace amounts. You're free to go, Ryan. As soon as he comes back to boxing, the Boxing Athletic Commission is going to look at him in the face and go, you beat your case, you're innocent, a year suspended. Boop. Guilty. Why? Why are you finding me guilty if I beat it in court? You know why? Because those are the rules in boxing. There's no way around it. Since you're responsible for whatever comes into your body, the minute we find it in your body, you're guilty. Whether it was by accident or intentionally. Either way, we found it, you're guilty. All we got to do is just prove whether you did it intentionally or unintentionally. That will increase the suspension or be, have a little mercy for you. That's all we're waiting for. There's no other way around it. Why you think Ryan Garcia's father is all over the internet saying he's going to start a movement to knock down that rule with the Boxing Athletic Commission, that even if you were to prove yourself in court innocent, you still get suspended. And Ryan Garcia's father doesn't understand it. He doesn't understand the hundreds of thousands of athletes that have cheated, that have come on with their lawyers and their fucking lab work and try to say they got it by a T. The athletic committee said, you know what? We're tired of all these excuses. You guys are grown professional athletes. Act like it. Act like you guys don't got millions of dollars and you can't hire a nutritionist to tell you every supplement you put in your body. And from now on, if you don't know what you're putting in your body, send it to us. We'll test it. So from now on, whatever's inside of your body, you're responsible. If you don't know what that is, don't eat it or drink it. They got fed up. So there's no way around it. It's not like he's going to go to court and beat it. He's going to be exonerated and he's not going to get suspended. No, he's going to get suspended. So you can make up whatever story you want. You can hang on to whatever 3-pound narrative. You could do whatever you want. I'm already telling you where we're at. And he can't get out of it. There's no way. So it just, the only thing is we have to find out, did he get any benefits? And I mean any benefits. You got to remember that these steroid people are not on Ryan Garcia's side. We talked about this. They're not on his side. They're trying to fucking hang him. In the steroid world, the steroid agent that's on his case wants Ryan Garcia's head on his wall as a trophy. He's going to go down as the agent that buried Ryan Garcia. And what do you think they talk about at the water cooler in the steroid labs? What do you think they talk about all day? I wish a motherfucker would use steroids today. I would let steroids around here. You gonna use steroids around here? Around here? I'm gonna bust you. Them steroid dudes, bro, they're in a different world. They're not on your side. They can't, they gotta meet their quota. If these steroid dudes ain't out there busting people, proving that they can catch people, what do you think their program's gonna be worth? They gotta bag athletes. These steroid people, they want to bag Ryan so bad. I told you, look how they wrote it up. When it first came out, did they not say Ryan Garcia tested positive, not for one PE, but for two? Wasn't that true? Remember? And you guys do know that the second PE they said he tested for, your body makes that one naturally. So in a steroid test, a veteran steroid dude, he would have saw those numbers come up, and he was able to determine that that was Ryan's natural body count, and that our body produces that, right? It breaks down into that. So he knew that was a false alarm. What did he do? He said, fuck it, it's there. This is fucking Ryan Garcia. I'm going to write it down that it came positive for 2 banned substance, knowing that that's the charge that's going to get dropped in court. But look how they wrote it up. They're not trying to help Ryan. He knew that was going to get dropped, that dude, but he still let it out to the media. Why? To stick it to him. Yeah, he's doing his job in the steroid world. You think he cares about Ryan? Fuck out of here. He gonna stick it to that kid. And listen, my mans, I'm trying to tell you. So it really doesn't matter at this point. Ryan's dad's all mad because he knows his son is gonna get a suspension, in which people are gonna call him a cheater. See, Canelo Alvarez went to court, beat his in court, but if you were to go onto the PE, the athletes that tested positive on a PE website, Canelo Alvarez's name is right up there, right next to everybody else. And he beat his in court. Why isn't he off the list? Because it doesn't work that way. You tested positive regardless. You're going on the list. You should see the men and women. They got a female list, they got a male list. You'll be surprised of the men and women that are on those lists. Yeah. But look, man, it is what it is. I already know what's coming. They're never going to turn the fight. They're never going to award him the victory. You can't do that. Too much money has exchanged hands. You can't do it. The best you're going to get is a no contest. And I think if Devin Haney got that, he should be fucking lucky. Okay? Because he's already the WBC champion still for the 140. Because technically he lost the fight. There's no way he should be the WBC champion still. But you know what he did? One of the smartest things. And that's why I say you can't say Ryan Garcia is a cheater. There's no way you can call him a cheater. Right? And I can't say that the 3 pounds had a factor. Because cheating would be after the fight, Devin Haney was notified that Ryan Garcia came in 3.5 pounds overweight after the fight. That's cheating. That's cheating. Not before the fight. You call me into your office, notify me he's came in 3.5 pounds overweight. Do you want to still continue? He has to pay you this money. Devin Haney said yes. And he said, oh, and by the way, win, lose, or draw, I remain the champion. As a matter of fact, the belt is not on the line tonight. They said, and you'll fight him tonight? He said, yes. They said, bet. That's the new contract. The first contract was broken by Ryan Garcia. Once Ryan paid him the money and they alerted him to the 3.5 pounds, it's not like he didn't know about the 3.5 pounds going into the fight. Devin Haney was made aware of it. And he still chose to fight. And after you get your ass whooped, now you're going to say it's cheating because you lost. But if Devin Haney would have knocked him out, Ryan Garcia coming in 3.5 pounds, you think we would be arguing about 3.5 pounds right now? You think we would be talking about 3.5 pounds? No, but it's only because he lost. Come on, man. Hit that like button, man. Come on, man. Can we get some likes? Can you type facts if you agree with me? The cheating with PEs came after. Came after. There's no way that Devin Haney could have known about the PE situation leading into the fight. There's no way he could have. Ryan didn't tell him that. He didn't know that. So going into the fight on PEs, it's not like he was informed. Now that comes out to be cheating. You see, after the fight. Now, Ryan Garcia, you have to answer some questions, which I want to remind you. I always remind the world this. Remember how we got here in the first place. The New York Boxing Athletic Commission has their own steroid pool. They tested Ryan, they tested Devin, they passed. Ryan Garcia hired USADA as an outside source when he was having that meltdown all over social media. And the Boxing Athletic Commission stepped in and said, Ryan, we fear for your mental health because of millions of people online are saying they shouldn't let you fight. And they were saying all these things that Ryan's on cocaine, he's on other drugs. So Ryan said, you guys think I'm on drugs and that I'm mentally unstable? He said, I'm going to have myself tested twice a week leading into the fight from my own pocket. He hired Vada. The only reason why we're here is because Ryan Garcia basically gave his drugs to the cops. In other words, you feel me? It's like he snitched on himself. He went and volunteered information to the police. Vada never needed to be in this. But because Vada, who they are, they're a legitimate testing source. So if they said he was dirty, now New York Boxing Athletic Commission had to address it. But the only reason why we here is because Ryan put this on himself. Because as far as any other testing done by the WBC and the New York Boxing Athletic, he passed. And Devin Haney passed. We would never be in this situation had it not been for Ryan hiring an outside source to test him. Let's just remember this. Boxing didn't catch him. Ryan caught Ryan. All right? Remember this. Yo, listen. Listen, guys. You know, some of these situations, a lot of guys are just going to talk around it. They're going to make excuses about this, excuses about that. And they're going to make up all these other situations. You know, this would never have occurred. Devin Haney would have never heard about none of this if Ryan didn't do this to himself. Let's just remember that, because as far as their testing goes, Ryan passed that. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Can I get them likes up, man? Cocaine is a hell of a drug. And you know this. Yo, after the fight, I want you guys to go watch Tyson Fury in the press conference right after the Usyk loss. If you know anything about street life, staying up at night, watch Tyson Fury. You tell me. I ain't saying anything. I ain't messing up his character, because I ain't said nothing. I ain't said nothing. Or I said, if you fill in the blanks with your own imagination, that's on you. All right? I'm just saying. Look at Tyson Fury and tell me what you think. I'm a grown ass man. I've been around for a while. I've been in some pretty shithole places and some real rich places too. And listen, check it out. Go check it out. Tell me what you think. Yo, yo, my man he was right on that stage, kid. He was feeling it. I'm trying to tell you, the loss, Listen, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. But guys, listen, there's a lot of other big fights coming up, and like the Bam Bam Rodriguez. I mean, Bam Bam Jesse Rodriguez. I want to see him fight. I want to see that fight right there. There's just May 28th, 29th, closing out of May. We have some big fights still coming up. And that's also going to shed light on the 140-pound weight division. Jack Catterall and Josh Taylor, which Josh Taylor, ironically, is ranked. Let me make sure he's ranked. And Jack Catterall is ranked number 5 for the WBC, right? Yeah, but that's under 140 pounds. Okay, now I'm going up to 147, and Josh Taylor's the number 3 ranked in 147. Yeah. And so at 154, I think that already. No, I'm not going to think. I'm not going to think here. What I'm going to do is just check like a regular person here. All right. What is this? Is this at 140? Yeah, this is at 140. I want to check out 154 real quick, because these guys have a tendency of doing this. Oh, Josh Kelly. Wow. At 154, there's no number 1, number 2 mandatory in the IBF at 154. That's not what at 140 for Subriel or 147, but at 154. Man, that's just a sad case of the two twin brothers. The two twin brothers, in fact, Jamal and Jermaine Charlo, they just celebrated a birthday. I think it was yesterday. Yesterday was their birthday. And it's unfortunate that both brothers never really lost their titles in the ring. Both twins never lost their belts in the ring, and both twins today are not champion. That's crazy. Yo, the good old days. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. I'm Rick James, man. Yo. Listen, but look, I don't know what's gonna happen right now with Usyk and with Tyson Fury. I'm not sure too much about the rematch. I know what they're talking about. I know that the IBF is not bullshitting when they say that they will strip Usyk if he doesn't honor his mandatory. The IBF doesn't give two shits about his super fight. The IBF is saying basically, you fought, you already got your fight out the way. You know what I'm saying? You need to take care of business. Thank you for the donation. What's up, baby? Zero Fallout 1. Thank you. Let me see if this will sound. Did you hear that? Round 1 sports talk, baby. And he says, after the Zane gave Dante Wilder some calm pro chicken to the body, he's gonna be. Listen, that is. I don't know what's up with Dante Wilder. Why he's like thinking that he could come and beat a guy like this when Parker. I mean, that Chinese heavyweight, bro. he can crack, man. The way he put down Joe Joyce like that. I mean, I gotta admit, Joe Joyce didn't look that fast. He looked awfully slow, Joe Joyce. And he, the Chinese guy had a little bit of help, but it doesn't take away from that power and the way he snapped Joe Joyce's eye like that. And the second time, Joe Joyce was prepared, and he just took the fight right out of him. You know, Chang has a real good shot at that heavyweight run for that titles, for all those titles. He's got a legitimate shot, man. He's got good defense. He looks like he's got that George Foreman 1-2. He's so fucking big, man. And I like his jab, but most of all, I like his patience as a heavyweight. His patience, the way he was up on Joy Joyce, but he had figured Joy Joyce out so much that you can see that he knew that it was that easy in the first fight, but he kept second guessing himself. The Chinese guy, he kept saying, nah, that can't be there. And when he finally decided to throw it, boom, Joyce went down like a fucking sack of potatoes, man. So I like Chang in that fight. And I think he's a better boxer than Deontay Wilder like that. Deontay Wilder is just all power. If they would have just taught the man how to box, it just goes to show you in the heavyweight division is really based on power. You don't need skills to be the heavyweight champion of the world, but yet they want to put you on a pound for pound list. Deontay Wilder had a serious heavyweight record, like one of the most legendary heavyweight records I've ever seen. He had like something like 40, 42 knockouts. He was rocking like 100% knockout ratio in the heavyweight division while holding the heavyweight title, consistently knocking people out. That was fucking ridiculous with no skills. No skills, bro. Just one fucking right hand out of hell. And look everything he did. But yet we're gonna throw Deontay Wilder as the most pound for pound fighter. Man, get the fuck. And that's why that's just proof, bro. All you need is a fucking right hand. But Usyk is a way different package. Usyk can fight. Usyk can box. Yeah, he can. And Usyk can carry out a game plan and stay focused. Usyk has mental discipline. His face expression in that Tyson Fury fight didn't change once. He looked like a man possessed. Like he knew he had a game plan and he was going out to execute it. Yeah. Usyk was just a way, not so much a way better fighter than Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury had his moments in the fight, but Usyk just knew how to keep it together and sustain it longer than Tyson Fury could. And that's what it kind of came down to. A battle of cardio, conditioning, who wanted it more, who was going to take more chances. It was said that Usyk went to the hospital to check his jaw for a fractured jaw. So he was fighting like that. He was taking chances too. So both men were really hurt in the fight. I have no complaints on the outcome. I really don't. I think it could have went either way. It just who wanted it more. I think if we see the fight again, it might be the same exact fight. I think that Usyk is showing that, you're gonna have to knock him out, and that's what's gonna have to happen to beat him. Someone's gonna have to knock him out. Because if you're thinking about going in there and outboxing Usyk, he's a little bit more leveled up than the average heavyweight that's coming up. There's a couple of heavyweights that are coming up that look pretty fast. They're just not there yet, and look pretty good. In fact, that dude, he looks like a white dude. He has a Torres. He's starting to make his way up, throughout the heavyweight division. I like his skill, but I just think that he's not ready for fighters such as Usyk. Like right now, Usyk would beat him easy, hands down, easy. He would just outsmart him. So you're gonna need a little bit more fighting experience, but congratulations to Usyk. He's a great champion. You know, I got nothing but respect for him, and I would love to see him again. I can't wait to see him again. Yeah, look, man. It just goes to show you for the heavyweight, that division is just different than every division. You know, it really is. When you have all the power up there, you know, you go down, you got all the skill. Where it meets a perfect blend is 130, 135, 140, 147, 154. Those are the glamour weight divisions. And the heavyweight is one. But those are the most divisions that most people watch. That's where power and skill meet at a perfect balance. And typically around those weights is where you're going to get the best fighters in the world. Yeah, that's yeah, and if you haven't noticed, that's where all your Javante Davis is, Teofimo Lopez, Terrence Crawford, Subriel Matias, they're all fighting in those weight divisions because that's where the boxing world believes, including myself, I'm in agreement that that's where the best blend at those weights, you're going to find the best men in the world. And eventually you're going to find like the best guy like that, you know. All the greats fought all within like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, guys, listen, guys, it's been an amazing show. You guys are always the best. You guys know this. I came on a little early today, didn't come on yesterday. Typically, I'll sometimes take a Monday off to regroup from the week and take in everything. Usually, Saturday is fight night. I'll come in on Sunday and I'll take a Monday off or so. But I'll let you guys know as the schedule and everything gets I get tighter on everything, you know. And YouTube don't be sending out the notifications and shit. Sometimes I be seeing my channel and I be seeing that I had like 300 and so many people, whatever, live watching, and then I go on and it's like 16. I'm like, they don't count from all the other streams. But anyway, guys, listen, thank you for tuning in. Please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell notification icon. Hopefully it allows you to know when I'm going live and streaming. So fight family, I had an amazing time. I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. Peace.